Officially, if you work hard, earn more money, and stay disciplined, you should slowly become financially secure. So why are millions of hardworking people doing everything they were told, yet still living paycheck to paycheck? Every month, your paycheck arrives, and before you know it, most of it is gone. Not because you're careless. Not because you're lazy. But because your money is competing against a system designed to make spending feel normal. And it all comes down to something behavioral economists call consumer conditioning, a quiet system of habits, incentives, and psychological nudges that almost nobody talks about. On paper, this sounds impossible. After all, nobody forces you to pull out your credit card. Nobody makes you order food instead of cooking. Nobody forces you to upgrade your phone every 2 years. So how could anyone say you've been trained? Because history shows this isn't just about individual choices. In the decades after credit cards became common, businesses discovered something powerful. When paying became easier, people often spent more without feeling the same emotional pain of paying. At the same time, advertising became more sophisticated, loyalty programs multiplied, financing became easier, and eventually your phone turned into a shopping mall that followed you everywhere. Little by little, spending stopped being an event. It became the default. That matters because your paycheck isn't only competing with your bills anymore. It's competing with thousands of carefully designed messages, notifications, discounts, subscriptions, and algorithms whose success depends on one thing: keeping you spending. To understand why so many intelligent, hardworking people struggle with money, you first have to understand how that system quietly shapes the decisions you think are completely your own. Section 1: The Official Story. Here's the story we've all heard. If you're struggling financially, you simply need more discipline. Wake up earlier. Skip coffee. Stop buying unnecessary things. Save more. Invest the difference. And to be fair, there is truth in that advice. Self-control matters. Budgeting matters. Building good habits matters. But here's the first crack in that story. It assumes every financial decision happens in a neutral environment. It doesn't. Think about yesterday. How many ads did you scroll past? How many emails offered a limited time deal? How many apps suggested something picked just for you? How many times were you told you deserved a reward after a stressful day? None of those moments happened by accident. Entire industries invest billions of dollars studying what captures attention, what creates urgency, what encourages impulse buying, and what keeps customers coming back. That's not a conspiracy. It's business. Imagine blaming someone for losing a tug-of-war without mentioning they're pulling against 20 professional athletes. Yes, their strength matters. But so does what they're pulling against. The same is true with money. Your financial decisions don't happen in isolation. They happen inside an environment designed to encourage spending. And that's only the first crack. Because underneath it is a mechanism most people never notice. Section 2: The Hidden Mechanism. Behavioral economists have studied something called consumer conditioning. The name sounds complicated. The idea isn't. Your brain learns from repetition. If an action makes you feel good, your brain becomes more likely to repeat it. That's true whether you're learning to exercise or learning to spend. Let's meet Sarah. Every payday, she promises herself she'll save more. On her lunch break, she opens social media. She sees friends on vacation. A clothing brand announces a flash sale. Her shopping app reminds her something is still in her cart. Her bank offers a payment plan that says she can split the purchase into 4 smaller payments. None of those things force Sarah to spend. But each one makes spending feel easier. One purchase becomes another. Each purchase creates a small burst of satisfaction. Not because Sarah is weak. Because her brain is doing exactly what human brains have always done, responding to immediate rewards. Saving works differently. Putting money into savings rarely feels exciting today. Its reward lives months or years in the future. Our brains naturally value immediate rewards more than delayed ones. Behavioral economists call this present bias. Companies know this. That's why buying is designed to feel effortless. One-click checkout. Free shipping. Buy now, pay later. Personalized recommendations. Auto-renewing subscriptions. The easier spending becomes, the less time your brain has to question it. Now zoom out. Retailers benefit when people buy. Streaming services benefit when people stay subscribed. Credit card companies benefit when balances stay active. Advertising platforms benefit when people keep clicking. The economy depends heavily on consumers continuing to spend. And that entire system quietly assumes one thing: that most people will continue choosing today's comfort over tomorrow's financial freedom. Section 3, The Break. For years, many people could keep that cycle going. Living paycheck to paycheck was stressful, but manageable. Then something changed. Beginning in 2022, interest rates rose rapidly in many countries to fight inflation. Almost overnight, borrowing became more expensive. Credit card balances cost more to carry. Car loans became pricier. Monthly payments increased. Meanwhile, many households had already used up much of the extra savings they built during the pandemic. Then higher grocery prices arrived. Higher insurance costs followed. Housing remained expensive in many areas. Each change alone was manageable. Together, they created pressure from every direction. When debt becomes more expensive, minimum payments grow. Because minimum payments grow, less money reaches savings. Because savings shrink, unexpected expenses often return people to debt. And because stress increases, emotional spending becomes even more tempting. Any one of those signals could be dismissed. Together, they're like four warning lights glowing on the same dashboard. Before the Great Recession of 2007 to 2009, many households also appeared financially stable on the surface while carrying growing financial pressure underneath. The lesson wasn't that history repeats exactly, it was that surface appearances can hide deeper vulnerabilities. Which brings us to what this actually means for you. Section 4, The Cascade plus the New Lens. If you believe you're simply bad with money, you'll spend all your energy trying to fix your personality. But if you understand the environment shaping your decisions, everything changes. When debt payments consume more of your paycheck, investing becomes harder. When investing becomes harder, building long-term wealth slows down. When emergency savings stay small, even a minor surprise, a car repair, a medical bill, or a lost job, can push you back into borrowing. That isn't because you're incapable. It's because small decisions, repeated thousands of times inside an environment built to encourage spending, create outcomes that feel impossible to escape. There's a reason most conversations about money focus on budgeting tips instead of the forces influencing your behavior. Individual choices make simpler headlines than complicated systems. So here's a different way to look at money. When someone says, people just need more discipline, ask what incentives they're surrounded by. When a company celebrates convenience, ask what behavior it's encouraging. When spending feels effortless, ask who benefits if you never stop. Seeing those questions doesn't make you cynical. It makes you aware. And awareness is where better financial decisions begin. If you want to understand how money really works, not just what the headlines say, you're in the right place. So here's the real question. If the world around you is constantly training you to spend, what would happen if you started training yourself to build wealth instead?